Tadavavahe Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahe. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay, so we saw, see the method employed is that you want to look at creation any way, in any way, and you want to find what? Ishvara and the truth of Ishvara. So, first method we used, which was you take one aspect of divinity, Ishvara, which is Rudra, then you see that aspect, then you see whole of Ishvara, then you see the truth of that Ishvara, which is consciousness, and then you come back to yourself. So that was the method used. Now a different method is used. So what is a different method? Now Ishvara is seen as cosmic Purusha. So this is how there are some verses which is beautiful. These are also the verses of Purusha Suktam. So Purusha Suktam, you know where we chanted? We chanted at that Kamakshi temple.
Yes.
So you will get the glimpse of meaning of this Purusha Suktam. Here, this Purusha is not, here we are not talking about Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahman. So this is also very important. Upanishad uses the word Purusha, but from the description you should figure out whether it is Ishvara, it is Maya, it is what this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is talking about you, because all is actually one Purusha, seen from different standpoints, and they all get different names. So here when Purusha is talked about, it is about Ishvara Upadhi. So here the way Ishvara is described as, first it was described as just one aspect, which is destruction. Here it is described as Ishvara as a cosmic Purusha. So cosmic Purusha, so here what it says, now here also we'll chant, because this is Purusha Sutta, so we know how to chant these verses. Sahasra Shirsha Purushaha Sahasrakshas Sahasrapad Sabhumim Vishwato Vrutva Atyatishtat Dashangulam. So I'll do the second one also. Purusha evedagam sarvam yad bhutai yaccha bhavyam udamritatvasya shanaha yadannenati yogati. So this is how Ishvara is seen as a cosmic Purusha. So here he says that this Ishvara as a cosmic Purusha, one entity, is the one which has what 1,000 heads, Sahasra Shirsha, and Sahasrapad, 1,000 eyes, 1,000 feet. So that means it is not like one entity who has 1,000 feet, whereas you have 2 feet. It's not. In those 1,000 feet, your feet are included. In those 1,000 hands, your hands are included. In 1,000 heads, your head is included. So this is how you have to do. So here he says...
It's head, not hearts.
Sorry?
It's head, is it?
It's head.
Yeah, Shirsha.
Shirsha is head.
Yeah, heads. 1,000 eyes, 1,000 feet, and it is compasses the earth on all sides. Okay? So that means there is no place on earth that Ishvara is not, right? From starting, we have seen sentient to insentient things, the smallest microbes to the biggest stars. So in everything it is there. It is also there in what? Physical, in subtle, in causal, so it is there everywhere. But is earth the only place where Ishvara is? No. So that means it is also extending beyond earth. Yeah. So here he says that it extends beyond it by 10 fingers breadth. So what does it mean? So that means that it just covers so much, right? So that means it covers all galaxies, it covers all stars, it covers everything that is there which is known to me and unknown to me.
So what does this 10 fingers represent in terms of the way he brings it up?
In terms of that, Surya, you know what does it
No,
like?
I have to read.
Is it because your 10 fingers can go the maximum distance, it's always beyond that? Or
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So
your 10 fingers are where you can stretch yourself and see your
yeah.
limits.
Yeah.
So it is like, this is not your limitation, it's beyond that.
Yeah.
Could be that.
Yeah, exactly. So it is like way beyond, you can't put any limit to it. So that means, see, being the time and space itself, there is no time where it is not. There is no space where this Purusha is not. Because the space itself is pervaded by Purusha. Yeah? So whatever exists in space is also what manifestation of that Purusha. So that means Ishvara is now seen as one entity, a cosmic Purusha, imagery used, which includes every form.
Purusha here means person, but
But
person rules
here-
unlimited.
Exactly.
Limitless.
So this is a Purusha which is Ishvara. And which that Purusha is an Ishvara as an entity includes everything. So that's why it cannot be any given entity. See, when one entity includes everything, by logic it means it cannot be a given entity. Because if it is a given entity, it cannot be the other entity. If it is an entity which includes all, actually it is what? Free from all the entities. So this is how it is mentioned. And then what it says is, that it extends beyond that. Now, when you say it is extending beyond that, okay, then you think that anything that is known to you and unknown to you, which exists at this point in time. So that will be what? Very incomplete picture. So that's why here he says what? Purusha evedagam sarvam yat bhutam yatcha bhavyam. So that means Ishvara includes everything that is here, and that is here in the past, not only in the present. And in the present, when you, in fact, all the scientists say how much we know about the existing universe. What is the percentage, Surya, that we know?
Of what?
The existing.
2%.
Huh?
4% of the visible, let's say, universe with the standard physics model.
4% of
Yeah.
the.
Because there is this dark energy and dark matter, we don't know what it is. So now this model of physics is accounting for only that much of the universe.
In fact, they say that even the visible thing, for example, the sea, we only know actually what is happening up to the 1,000, 2,000 feet. Below that, we still don't know much about the ocean.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
See, this is why. So even, and that's a very good thing, there are so many things we don't know, but even among things that we think we know, we only know them partially. So that means our teacher used to ask that...
Same with our brains.
Yeah, exactly, same with our brains. If I ask what is this fruit, then you feel that you know it, and then how do you answer? You say it is banana. Now if I ask you, but why banana has this creamy texture, whereas orange has a juicy texture? So our knowledge ends at a very just superficial level. So that means you go one step further, and then we have to say I don't know. So that's why the more research you do, more you know about a given thing itself. Forget things that you don't know. Even the given thing that you think you know so little. So this is why now Ishvara includes what? The things that you know and things that you don't know. This is why invention it is already there in Ishvara, but we unveil. That unveil is called discovery. That is how it happens. And that potentials which are there, which can come as a result of assemblage, we collapse. So that is what we call discovery. So now Purusha includes everything that is right now in the universe which is known to me and unknown to me. Because it's already there, it's already arranged, it's already collapsed. But I may not know it. Then, and not only of the present, but also of the past. Past means now here, our understanding of the past is what? How far can you go back? Till what? The beginning of what? Big Bang. But according to the Vedic vision, this is only beginning of one cycle of creation. So that means all that happened in the past includes how many cycles of creation? Infinite cycles of creation. So therefore, this is what Ishvara is. As a cosmic entity, it includes all the cycles of creation which already happened in the past, and from today, how 13.7 billion years for this cycle from the time of the Big Bang. So that means all that happened, because it already was there and it already happened, it was already arranged. So then, and also, as I told you, anything that is going to happen in the future. So that means any possibility that you collapse in the future that are there as a potential now. So that means that's how you move from one thing to the other. So that's why now they said, maybe now we go to Tahiti for a holiday. Maybe we'll go out of Earth for a holiday after 100 years. Possible. Why not? We'll go to moon. Where are you going this weekend?
Yes,
I'm going to Mars this weekend.
My daughter is studying in Mars. She's in Jupiter.
A lot of people in Bihar and all coming to Bombay is like coming to
It's like exactly.
It's all quite religious.
Some people in Kolkata, they are selling land on moon. Yeah, they've been selling lands on moon. So many agreements they've done and all.
So
And surprising, then government came in picture. What is this happening?
Which government can come into picture?
Which government owns? So this is why it is so true. Future, what seems like total fantasy may come true. What the world that we are living in today, 100 years ago, if somebody described that this is the world that we are going to live in, it may seem like a total fantasy to them. The dresses that people wear, how they behave, the kind of homes they have. A person could not have believed that you can be living on the 30th floor hanging in the air. It seems so like a fantasy. Right? So that means that whatever is supposed to happen, or whatever can happen. Now, whatever is going to happen, is it fixed? Is it already decided 100%? No, it's in making. So that means you as an individual have what? Free will. So depending upon what you collapse, the world changes. Depending upon the possibilities that I collapse, the world changes. So now at one given point in time, 7 billion people are working, doing actions. And the world has to change to what? In keeping with action of each of these 7 billion individuals. At every second. But is it visible to us? No. Every minute you collapse one possibility, world has changed that much. This object, if it is here, if I have used my free will to bring it here, the world has changed. Why? Because this has moved from what the P1 place to P2 place. It's not the same. The location has changed. One more word has come out of my mouth. One more thing you have heard. One more thought has arisen in your mind. So that means constantly changing. So this is how. So that Purusha, which is Ishvara, which includes everything, but also has a potential. So if you ask Ishvara also, what is going to be the world 1000 years from now? He'll say, no, it depends upon how each individual acts. And I, as a law, what is my job? To shift the universe in keeping with the actions that people have performed. So this is how Ishvara has to be understood. So, Yach Bhutam, Yacha Bhavyam. So that means, okay. Now, what will be? He is also the Lord of immortality, okay, and of whatever grows by food. So now here is like everything is talked about. So that means this is like a poetic language, right? So it's not as structured and as logical as we would like for it to be. So that means whatever grows by food. So what does it mean? So that means now people say that broccoli is something which did not exist. Because broccoli is what, when you mix cauliflower with spinach, it's broccoli. Oh, yeah? Yeah? Broccoli is that? Yeah. Broccoli is a mixture. It's not a natural, it is a mixture of cauliflower. So it's a mixed breed. Yeah, it's a mixed breed. Cauliflower. You know, these Americans are very clever. They love cauliflower, but spinach is healthy.
So you mixed it up.
So they mix it up. So you want to have the good taste of cauliflower, but you want to have the health of spinach. Mixed breeds. So this is how we, so that was not there before. And then when you do those experiments, it starts growing. So now, this is what, a collapsing of possibility. So this is why they have all these, you know, when you go to a supermarket in the US, all the fruits and all the vegetables, they look so big, they look so nice.
And perfect shapes.
And perfect shapes and everything, and you feel, wow, they are like amazing. And you taste, and it doesn't taste like anything, because they are what, artificially, they, I don't know what they do, genetically modified. To look bigger, to look nicer, all of that. So that means that is actually what, understanding Ishvara's design, and then what, you have the intelligence to modify it. That capacity is given to you, but if you too much interfere with the natural course, then there is some side effect that happens. It loses the taste, that is a side effect. And there may be some other side effects too. So that means every time you intervene, there is a corresponding result. You do have two kinds of results. The vegetables become bigger and better looking, that's one result. The other result is it loses taste. Compensation. So this is how anything that grows in the future, that is also so many, you know, they say that there are some things which are not, in South India especially I found that people don't eat some vegetables that people quite commonly eat in the north. And then I found out that those things are attributed to, this is not indigenous to India. They were brought from outside.
Britishers, yes.
Britishers brought it. And most of the time, South Indians don't eat things which were brought from outside. So there is, now they are all coming back to that. Eat from what grows in your country. Before it was seen as what? Orthodoxy. What is this? Well, you are stuck in this some old idea that whatever grows here, only you eat that. Something is brought from abroad, you don't eat. But now the whole world comes around and more people are eating what is grown locally. Because what they say is that wherever you are, whatever is the best for you, there is a natural design that those kind of vegetables, those kind of fruits will be growing in your area. Whatever is the most suitable for that climate and that people. So that means this is how it is. So that means anything that grows as a result of genetic modification or whatever, everything is a possibility within Ishvara. We are not actually working against Ishvara as such. What we are doing is, we are understanding how Ishvara works and we are trying to better it. But at times, because our knowledge of that thing is not complete, in trying to make it better, we create side effects.
By manipulating.
By manipulating. So this is how it is. So Purusha also includes all of that. And then what it says, he is also the Lord of immortality. So that means that now this is a nice thing, that these hands and legs and eyes and heads and everything. So that means you are also born with one of them, right? So you also have eyes, you also have hands, you also have legs. So you are included in this Purusha. But if you come with that, you are subject to mortality or not? You are subject to mortality. That means the body that you have come with, you have to shed. The mind that you have come with, you have to shed. So that means that if you are like one of the hands and legs and all, you are subject to mortality. But actually, none of us can stand being immortal. That's why death, our relationship with death is something which is what it frightens us. Why does it frighten us? Because it's so uncomfortable idea. What is so uncomfortable about it? So, I'll tell you, psychologically it is scary. So when I was about 10 or 11 years old, I was almost like, I loved my father, and my father was completely normal and completely healthy. There was absolutely nothing wrong with him. But one thought will cross, because I had discovered that there is death. What if something happens to him? And I'll be like, oh my God, what if I lose? There is such a panic. So that means just the thought, it makes you shiver. So this is our relationship. And then, of course, as you grow up, you're not shivering, but that fear is always there at the back of your mind. It's always there, that you are going to lose somebody who is very dear to you. It's not going to be forever. Then, most of the time, people also can't accept what. Then when I was in school, it's amazing how our relationship with, one of my best friends, her father had gone somewhere out of town and he passed away. Then she went to, when my friend came back, I was unable to face her and tell her something. I was like, I didn't know how to deal with her, and I didn't know even what to say, so I was only avoiding her because I didn't know how to go to her and say what. I was so shaken by that. So that means that people that we love, then what? Our own going away. So there was a very nice, in Mahabharata, there is a very nice story. The story is that of these 5 Pandavas, when they were in a forest, they had to go and live in the forest for 12 years. And during one time, they go to a local river to fetch water. And when they go, there is this a person who, as first I think Nakul went.
The Yaksha.
The
Yaksha person.
Yeah. Yaksha.
Yeah, it was a Yaksha.
Yaksha. So that means that first Nakul, or I don't know, one of the brothers went, and the Yaksha said, hey, you are not allowed to take water of this lake until you answer my question. So then this Nakul said, what Yaksha and all? He said, who are you? I'm just taking the water. And what Yaksha did? Killed him. So Nakul fell dead. Then came Sahadev. So Sahadev, the same story. He tried to take water, Yaksha said, no, you can't take the water until you answer my question. And he defies him, he says, why you? And he dies. Then Arjun also dies, and
Bhim also.
Bhim also dies. All of them die. And then finally goes Yudhishthira. Yudhishthira is waiting and he's saying, what, they are going to fetch water, nobody's turning up, and hours have come. So he finally goes, and he also he sees them all dead, and he's like wondering what's happened. And then he tries to take water, and this Yaksha comes and he says, answer my questions, and only then you can take the water. And then he says, okay, if you answer my questions right, I will also revive your brothers. So one of the questions he asks Yudhishthira is, what is it which is something which is so evident and we still cannot accept? And Yudhishthira's answer was that we all know very well that we are going to die one day, but we live as though we are going to be here forever. There is some kind of a denial. So this is what, then now Yaksha was happy and he revives all his brothers. But what is that death is something which is scary. So this is why on auspicious occasions, see, we have all these mannerisms where on an auspicious occasion you don't talk about, things like that. It is very kind of, things. So these are codes, which is how you behave. So now here, that means as long as you live as an individual, then there is always going to be, you can be on a denial, but the fear of death or fear of mortality will, mortality of losing people around you that you love, and also your own going away, you can't handle. So now you need whose help, tell me, to take you, they take you to the other side of mortality, Ishvara's. How will you go to the other side of mortality? If you understand that I am not just one of the hands and legs of Ishvara, one of the many hands and legs of Ishvara, I am what? The truth of Ishvara. That is the only way. This is how the person crosses over. And who has that key? Who will give you that knowledge that I am the truth of Ishvara, but not just one hand and leg? Who will give that knowledge? Only Ishvara.
So, if death is such a seamless part of our, cycle of life and whatever, why has it been something that is so feared? Because, we don't fear aging as much. We don't fear all the other rites of passage that we go through. So why death?
Okay, my death, Namo, is because, in fact, we fear old age also. So many people fear old age. They can't handle getting old. This is why we all go and we dye our hair. We can't handle grey hairs. We can't handle people. No, it's very tough. People, when your senses become, they lose their this thing 100% capacity. It is scary. I see sometimes people when they lose their hearing capacity and all, it's a little traumatic. So
there are people who are very relieved that they don't have to listen to the chatters. I'm not joking. I know people who are really comfortable with it. So I wonder. What I'm saying is that the option is there.
You know what? Actually, we are not supposed to be comfortable because this is really not our nature. If we were totally comfortable with it, then we will not look for realities. See, that means we have concluded that we are mortal, but actually we are not. everybody is actually very attracted to the idea that I'm going to be here forever. And what is the reality about your true nature?
You are.
That you are. So that means that discomfort actually impels us to go more towards reality.
But also in general, anything that is unknown
That,
it
yes.
also creates a
Yes.
fear. Anything that is unknown, like you go darkness, you go to a fire, you don't know, tremendous fear comes up. You go deep sea, same thing. Whichever is unknown creates tremendous fear.
The fear that this is the end.
You don't know anything, so it's like anything that is not known is fearful for a person.
Okay. So that means that the key to immortality lies within Purusha, because that same Purusha which is Ishvara, which is cosmic, which pervades everything, can teach you that what is your true nature, and it can take you to immortality. This is why we chant this beautiful prayer at the end of every day, Asatoma Satgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. It's a prayer. It is what that from Asat, what is not totally real. See, our vision is a little bit vitiated. What is a form, please understand, seems more real to me than the substance. Mithya seems more real than the Satyam. Because when I ask, if you had not heard of Vedanta, if I ask all of you, what is this? You will all say it is table. So that means you give more reality to what form than what the substance from which it is made. In fact, so our teacher used to say, and our language is like that. We say it is table, and table is what we use it as noun. Then if I ask you one more question, and if I ask you what kind of table it is, you will say it is wooden table. So that means, now understand. So table for us is a noun, which is the main thing, and wooden is an adjective. An adjective is generally what? Incidental. Right? So what seems like a main thing here is what? Table, and what seems like an attribute to that main thing is the wood. What is the reality?
This is wood.
Wood in the form of a table. That is the reality. So our teacher used to say, if we had got the realities right, we would have said it is tabley wood. Because wood is reality and table is just an adjective.
It's like we are only looking on the practical aspect. Right?
Yes.
What we then the next,
Yes.
then the next, then the next.
Exactly. So this is what. So this he says that so everything, our vision of everything is mithya seems more real, and because mithya seems like a reality to me, satyam is totally missed out. This is how we live. We take mithya as satyam, and satyam is lost. That's why our whole life is tipsy-turvy. So, and this is where, then what mortality and everything. So, what the Purusha doesn't have to do anything. It has to, what does he have to do? Make us see that whatever we see, the forms are mithya, and then behind those forms there is one satyam which is a non-changing reality. And that non-changing reality is really your true nature. Changing forms are just assemblage of water, earth, fire, space. When you put your eye, it's just an assemblage of 5 elements. So this is how the Purusha has to make us understand. And by that understanding takes us to what? Immortality. Doesn't have to do just lifting the weights. And you are within that Purusha. Don't think that Purusha is one thing that you, this is what happened to Arjuna. I have to say that. chapter 10 and 11 of Bhagavad Gita, especially 11, there is a chapter called Vishwa Rupa Darshan. So that means Arjuna asks Lord Krishna to say, now you are the Lord. So I want to see not you as Mr. Krishna here, but show me your cosmic
Virat.
Virat Rupa. And he says, with your eyes, see how Lord Krishna answers. He says, with the eyes that you have, they are programmed in a way that you can't see me as what the entire Virat, the entire Ishvara is not possible. Eyes are not programmed to have that vision. So here he says, I'll give you Divya Chakshu. I'm going to change the configuration of your eyes so that you can see that. And then he changes the configuration, and Arjuna is given what? One vision of Ishvara in which he sees everyone. He sees the Duryodhana, he sees Bhishma, he sees all the characters, he sees everything. And Arjuna is overwhelmed. At the end of this so-called chapter, which is a conversation that is going on, he's so frightened. He says, you come back to your normal room, this is too frightening for me.
Get scared.
I'm getting scared now. Because things are, now imagine, it is exactly the same. Imagine your eyes are reprogrammed to see every little bacteria that is roaming around here.
Oh my God.
On your hands itself, there could be so many.
Millions.
And all the changes which are taking place in your bodies, everything I can see.
And all the thorns of everyone.
And all the thoughts of everyone. You will not be able to live. My teacher was very funny. He said nobody will fall in love with anybody else. I see all creatures walking all over you.
That's very funny.
This is how it is. So then he got all scared because he's just too much seeing. All very fast, every second, everything moving and all, and just everything. So then ultimately he says you come back to what? Your real Swarupa. Just little pleasant Krishna. Then why he got frightened by looking at Ishvara?
Because he jostled his own idea of reality.
Yeah, it exactly shook his whole idea of reality, because what he was saying was so deceiving as with reference to the real reality. But one of the things he did is, he did not include himself in the right place. If he had included himself as what? The consciousness from which all these different forms come, and they do this dance, and in which everything, including this body and that body and everything constantly changes, would he have been frightened if he had put his eye at the right place? Non-changing reality, never affected by anything that goes on. So that means, even if Ishvara shows you its own rupa, if you don't have the knowledge of your reality, you will be frightened.
Still operate from a jiva perspective.
You still operate as a jiva. He was still operating as a jiva. He got frightened. This is why you meet Mr. Krishna is not enough. And you have to be taught by Mr. Krishna, and not only you have to be taught by Mr. Krishna, you have to understand what Mr. Krishna says.
So not only the eyes
Not
has to
to
change,
Mind.
The mind has to change. Mind has to change. The meanings, then he was speaking words, but the meanings have to ring the bell. This is what has to happen. So this is why this cosmic Purusha also has the key, yeah. So to take you from mortality to immortality. Okay. Now this is exactly the same. Okay. We have Sarvata Pani, we have that, no, Surya?
Yeah,
Yeah, Sarvata. This is almost the same idea. Sarvata Pani Padam Tata Sarvato Kshishiro Mukham Sarvata Shruti Manloke Sarvam Avrutya Tishtati. So this is also kind of a thing which is his hands, the Ishvara as a cosmic Purusha, his hands and feet are everywhere, his eyes, heads, faces are everywhere, his ears are everywhere, he exists encompassing all. So that is something which we have seen already. Now, in the next verse, it is very, there is another, these are all now imageries because the teaching is it's over now. This is why people are all afraid that, oh, so many verses are remaining. But now we can...
I think they just try to describe Ishvara in every other form and
Exactly.
Extension.
So that means that's why if you really understand, then you don't get confused. You don't say, oh, here it is said like that and here it is said like that. So that means any given way it is talked about, you have to understand what Ishvara is. And it is, you're shown the presence of Ishvara and the truth of Ishvara in different ways. And also the essential that you, in seeing Ishvara, you can't, if you miss out your identity with Ishvara, then again the real nature of Ishvara, the more you see the grandeur, more it frightens you, rather than what it gives you some kind of a peace. So that means a human search cannot end till what you see the nature of Ishvara and you understand Ishvara as not separate from you. This is the end of human search. Otherwise, you will go on. Now, here in this next verse, it's nice because it uses very interesting. Navadware pure dehi hamsa lelayate bahihi vashi sarvasya lokasya sthavarasya charasya cha. Okay, so that means the ruler of the whole world, of all that is moving and that is motionless, becomes the embodied self and dwelling in the city of 9 gates, flies outward. Now, see, these are all little bit of praises. Yeah, these are all, the idea is, one idea is beautiful. First, there is a verse in Dakshinamurti Stotra. That imagine that there is a Nana Chidra Ghato Darasthitamaha Deepa Prabha Bhaskwaram Nanam Yasyatu Chakshuradikarana Dwara Bahispandate. Beautiful verse. It takes the imagery of one pot with multiple holes, and in the center is a light. How many lights are there? One. But the holes are how many? Many. And of different shapes and sizes. So now, when the light comes out through these holes, what does it seem to you? If you don't understand that there is only one light, you will see how many lights? Multiple lights of different size and different shapes. The different sizes and shapes, do they do anything to the light? The light is just one. Does it take any form? It doesn't take any form. It appears to take all these different forms, but itself is free from forms. So, one light appearing through many pots. Now, this pot, either you can take it as one light appearing through your eyes, one body, one light of consciousness through eyes will do what?
See.
See. Through
Yes.
ears, hear.
Through hands. it will
Through hands, grasp. So that means itself is getting involved, like the light, when it appears to be, or that light appears to have different shapes, itself is free from any shape, it is not many, it is one. So same thing, without this light of consciousness, your mind will not work, your hands will not work, your legs will not work, your senses will not work, and it makes everything work, and itself is what? Free from everything. Now, imagine that you see the whole universe, the cosmic Purusha, is also same thing. One light, but what?
Many forms.
Many forms. One light, but 1,000 hands, 1,000 what? Eyes of the past, of the present, of the future. Without light, none of the forms can exist, but the light is free from all the forms. So this is